Hello everyone, Dan 14th Prime here. Today I want to check out with you guys the Transformers Studio Series Jazz. Deluxe class figure, I picked him up off Amazon. You can too. Link in the description below. Check out my Amazon page. He's just hitting now, so follow him on my page. Check back often. He'll come back in stock for $19.99, regular retail price. So as we've seen, all these Studio Series come with the backdrop packed into the box. Here we've got Jazz's. I don't keep them all, but if memory serves, this is the same one Brawl had, I believe. Kind of the street scene. Just shrunken down for deluxe class. You got all the damage, the fire, wrecked cars, planes overhead. It's a nice print. Again, these things take up a lot of space, so personally, I don't use them. I don't keep them. And here we have Jazz, and I have to say my first reaction getting this guy out of the box was, wow, he's small. In the box, he sits on like a 2-inch riser with a plastic bubble. But then you get him out, and man, is he tiny. For those of you that complained about Bumble being small, you're not going to like this, because this guy is really, really tiny. I have to say, overall, the paint is pretty good. Some little nits on mine, but overall, very good. Looks shiny. Quality, not too bad. Not perfect. Transformation's pretty slick. It's got a couple fun aspects to it. And overall, I think he fits in the line really well. It's a nice Jazz. So let's jump in a bit closer and check out the details. And again, for as nice as a Jazz as this is overall, never really happy with what the Bayverse did to this guy. Our beloved G1 Jazz, Porsche Martini, guy's like a general baller, a shot caller. And then in the Bayverse, he becomes this like 1983 jag talking, breakdancing Pontiac. Do they even make Pontiacs anymore? But we're not here to vent our frustrations. Let's take a look at this figure. Let's jump in on the head sculpt. Aspects of it look really good. I mean, it's got a nice visor there, kind of clear plastic over it. That's what it looks like. Silver head up top. When it comes down to the face, it's that dark gray, kind of just blends with the shoulders. It really is hard to see like the lower face of the guy. He's just such a small figure. So that lower half of the face really stops it from looking really good because you just can't make it out. When you go down into the upper body, it looks pretty good. I mean, the chest looks very good with the grill, the Pontiac logo. You get the blue headlights there. Nice silver paint all over the figure. And you get this blue trim for the lights, kind of on the shoulders and the chest. Then down through the midsection, you get, again, the dark gray and kind of lighter gray plastic where they didn't paint, but still looks pretty good for the bot mode. Then down into the lower body, you get that gray down through the thighs. I will say I thought it was odd that the pins came through the front of the leg. Maybe that could have been done better. He's got some nice panels that help detail up the shin, and he's got these kind of weird feet. I mean, just little feet, not much toes, but they give him a good heel spur there to keep the balance. And while we're here, I'll just give you a bit of the side profile. You can see the side of that foot where it just sort of lacks a front of a foot, really. It's very stubby in the front. Get the wheel there on the side. You know, you get some panel down through the side of the arm. That's got to make the side of the car, obviously, and the wheel up there. But not much of a profile there, just kind of like a lot of panels of what's going to be the side of the car. Backpack hanging off the back. No better or worse than probably we often see. Back of the figure here, just, you know, really that rooftop, just one fold in it. A little bit disappointing there with what we've seen them do with like Bumblebee. We know they can put 2-3 folds in that thing and make it a bit tighter, but they didn't do that for this little guy. And then accessory-wise, he does come with this kind of dish-looking thing that goes on his hand. Gray plastic up front, dark in the back, and then some paint there on kind of the front of it. So it looks all right. And this will go on the bot mode or the car mode. It can store away. This has a little articulation piece there when you store it on car mode. But for bot mode, you just keep that out. Grab your figure here. It does have some funky hands. He has like one regular hand. The hands are very petite little things. And then here it almost looks like a Megatron-esque sort of claw hand. But you just flip it over and a peg on the other side. And then kind of U-shape up. That will just plug in. And there he is with that accessory on the arm. It's coming straight off the wrist. You know, it's all right. At least he comes with something. Okay, so let's check out some of the scale variation that we're seeing in the line. This is one of the coolest things I think the line is doing for us. You have just such variety of different size of characters, even within the classes of Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader. You got your big Grimlock there. Blackout there, who's Leader. Megatron Voyager there. the ender of Jazz. Spoiler. Optimus Prime here. Oh, we're going with the theme here. I didn't realize it, but Decepticons on the left, so Brawl. Yep, I'm going to have to break my theme here. We'll put Starscream here. Voyager, you know, so see the great variation within the Voyager line. And to come into Deluxe, I guess I've been getting probably a few less, but here you've got Stinger. Let's try to get these guys lined up a bit more. You can really see the Deluxes side by side, so see how he's even smaller. And then B, let's just slide these guys over so we can really get B and Jazz side by side. What I have of B, I think his roof is somewhere else, but oh, of course, and there goes his hand. So there you have these guys. And I guess they're surprisingly about the same size. It just felt like Jazz was even smaller, but I guess I haven't had B in my hand in a while. So they are roughly the same size. But yeah, that's most of the lineup. I think I need to get Ratchet still. But pretty cool with all of the just different variation and height and size. And just one final look to get these two side by side. Probably not perfect. I'm just going off memory here. I'll put something in when I edit the video, but I just remember Jazz being so much smaller. Megatron just has him in his arms and rips him in half. It feels like Jazz could be smaller, Megatron could be even bigger, but it's tough to kind of fit it all in perfectly. Okay, so let's do a very quick articulation run with Jazz. This little deluxe class figure. Head seems to just basically be on a ball joint there. Rotate it. A little bit of a panel hinge back there for transformation, so you can go down just a smidge. You can't really go up that I can see. You know, there's a lot of hinges for the shoulders for transformation, so you can spin that around, get them up like that. Get an elbow all the way up. The hands just kind of go down and up for transformation. There's nothing at the waist. The thighs are kind of your pretty standard. At least they have just ball joints there. I was about to say I thought they pinned them, but no, that's just molding in the plastic. Thigh swivel up there high, knee up there like that. And then down here, again, he just has this heel spur for transformation. He does also basically get like a ankle rock right there as well, which is pretty cool for some wide stances. So that's about it, but it's, I think, plain enough for this little guy. Waist swivel would have been the one thing nice to have, probably. Okay, so now let's get Jazz transformed into this plush Pontiac. Is it Pontiac Solstice, I think? Is that what he was? I'm just going off memory. But start off by just flipping down these shin panels all the way. Flipping up. And it was kind of hinge and fold in there. The wheel well. You can flip back these heel spurs. Kind of give these a bit of a fold up like this is how we're going to eventually get them. If you just come around back here, just this little backpack, kind of extend it off. Lock down the back panel. And then there's just a bit of a waist clip there to undo. Kind of stretch them out a little bit. This is pretty slick here. This front end rotates, so give that a rotation. Tuck his head back in there. And for the waist here, pegs right here, you'll see a couple holes there, so got to get that in there. That's important to make sure you get the length right. Then here's a big one for panel gapping, and the instructions don't cover it well. There's a peg on the roof here, blue. There's a peg hole there in that crotch. Those have got to go together. If you do not get those together, you're going to have a big panel line issues. It took me a couple transformations to figure that out. And it wasn't easy to get in there, I will say. So this just kind of folds down like this, but then again, it's here in the center. You really have to get that peg. See right there, I've got this gap. I don't think I have it right now. So it is not in there like it needs to be. Let me just really see here. Focus on that one peg there. That's when you know you've got it. You can really hear it. It's a pretty substantial peg. So you might need to pull the legs apart to get that, but see how much better that looks. Not that there's still not a panel line there, but it is way better. So down here, then we just need to fold in the arms. So you bring those to the side, and the form kind of goes into the shoulder there. Flip the hands around if I haven't done that yet. They just kind of flip and stow away. So again, get your panel lined up. These shoulders are on like double hinge, so they'll just kind of fold in. And the only peg here is on top. It's going to peg up. That could have been a bit better, quite honestly, to just help with the panel lines and help with the hold of the figure overall, because there's no like flat peg. So fold those sides in. Again, double hinge, a bunch of hinges there on the shoulders. Push that up if you need to. Front end, pretty cool little gimmick here as well. Just spin that around the grill, push it down. And that's it. And then you can, of course, just make sure you've got things as tight as you want. These shin panels do hit some pegs up here. It's pretty natural, but there is just some spots for them to sit as well. There you go. So here we have Jazz, the Pontiac we all wanted. Small little thing. Again, lots of panels on this side. I counted there's probably like 5-6 panels that make up that side profile of the car there. So there's going to be a lot of lines. That's about as good as I can get it. And it's pretty tight, but when you're way up close like this, you really see it. Back where I'm looking at it more naturally, it doesn't look as bad, but this is definitely the close-up scrutiny. Some nice big black wheels there. Little vent detailing there. It looks like down here by the door as well. Some red taillights you can see. Clear windows. You got the side mirrors. You got the door handle in there. Front of the car looks pretty nice. That whole grill effect that we saw in bot mode comes through in the car really good. Get the headlights. And I guess fog lamps below that is what that would be. I think looking through the windshield looks cool. Just how the parts settle in there. It almost looks like you see 2 white seats just sitting there for kind of like driver and passenger. So that looks neat. The mirrors look good off the side. Kind of same as the other side, of course. Back here, the taillights are painted, but nothing else. They could have done something with the license plate. They didn't do anything back here with those lights either. But overall, pretty clean. And then again, it's just like this, the top profile is cool, right? To get some contouring in the car, kind of back through the rear trunk area. The spoiler looks really good. Pops a bit more from the top and the side than it does from the back. All this nice silver paint. It's got some vents here. And I was going to say the paint overall has been good. It's a shiny silver, so, up really close, I had a couple nits. Something here looks like, I don't know, some kind of, I don't know how they paint these things, but like hair from a brush or just hair, who knows, sort of looks like it's some debris is just kind of in the paint, it looks like. It's some fine scratches, but it's really kind of hard to see on camera probably, but it's a pretty delicate paint job. If it scratches, yeah, you will notice it for sure. Then kind of the final step, or the storage option, I should say, if you had this device and you just kind of folded it back, it just sort of, there's a ridge here for the spoiler, and it'll just kind of peg back in the middle of the spoiler. And he can kind of just carry that around like that. A pretty good size accessory for such a small dude, but at least he has somewhere to put it. I figure if it does some drifting, this Pontiac can look really cool. So there you have it, guys. Transformers Studio Series Jazz from the Bayverse. That's pretty cool. I like it for the $20. Again, look for it on my Amazon page. Link in the description below. Bookmark that and check back often. I like the scale, how it fits into the line. I like the silver paint. I do like the transformation, especially as far as these deluxe figures goes. It's much tighter, cleaner, more enjoyable than like Bumblebee or Stinger. If I had to improve a couple things, waist swivel would have been nice. Doing something with the bottom of that face to just make it more visible would have helped the head sculpt out quite a bit. But overall from this line, I think it's definitely my favorite deluxe thus far. All right, guys, thanks for checking in. I'll see you next time.